Hey, what's up, guys? This is Guy here with KBTrainings. Welcome to this new live today, Sunday, December 15th, 2024. I'm live again to show you what I've been doing, to bring you in my lab, show you some cool stuff. And I created KBTrainings to share with you my experience. I'm an IT professional, I'm a tech professional, especially in cybersecurity. And it's my pleasure to bring you the things that I'm learning and to have fun with you. So now I'm in my lab. Today we're going to talk about blocking Intra-VLAN traffic on the FortiGate. And I have a setup behind me, and this is the quick lab we're going to do today. As you can see, we have a FortiGate 71F right here. It's going to be connected to this FortiSwitch 224E. And then we're going to have two VMs or two virtual machines connected to this switch here to be part of this infrastructure with the FortiGate. And the VMs are in my virtual environments. I'm going to connect the port 13 and 14 will be connected directly to those VMs. And I'll be connecting them to the port number 1 and 3 on this switch here. And if you want me to explain how I did everything, how I was able to connect my virtual environment that is in a completely different network to connect it to my FortiGate, I can talk about it. It's just VLANs. If you know how to play with VLANs, you can literally do any kind of topology. So that's what we're going to do today. It looks like this. This is the topology that I explained to you. And these two computers here will be part of the VLAN number 10. And you know that by default, they should talk to each other because they are in the same VLAN. They will see each other at the layer 2. They don't have to go all the way to the firewall, but I'm going to tell you why we need to have that visibility, why we need to go to the firewall to be able to communicate between these two computers. Again, my name is Guy. If this is the first time you are on this channel, you can follow me on social media. I am on Facebook and Instagram at Gibisuku or KBTrainings for the tech channel. And one of the things I do for you, I'll bring you here, is my courses. I'm planning to make a lot of courses on many different devices and many vendors. Right now, I have the CCNA 200-301 that is available on my website, en.kbtrainings.com. It's a beautiful course. I don't know why, but people love it so much. I know why, because I'm good. And I explain really well with my pen and everything. So the course is on en.kbtrainings.com. The CCNA course. The CCNA is really important. If you are in the tech field, you know the value of the CCNA. It can help you start or boost your career. I've seen people going from zero to engineer, just knowing networking concepts and how to be able to defend yourself at an interview and get a job. The networking is fun. You don't have to go to college to be able to do it. You can do it on your own in your lab. And that's what we do together here. So go ahead and check out en.kbtrainings.com. That's where the course is. Many more courses to come on the FortiGate, on more Cisco, more Palo Alto, a lot of stuff. All right, guys, I think we can get started. Let me just take a look at chat here to make sure we have people online. And I am just not alone here. Yes, we do have people online already. Claver Bachi, hello. Thank you so much. Say hi in the chat. And if you like the video, don't forget to like it on YouTube and Facebook and share the link as well. All right, so let's go straight to the point here. Let me just make sure I'm recording this and I am also streaming. All right, we are good. Okay, first of all, why do we need to block traffic intra-VLAN? This is part of the bigger picture. This is mostly part of the zero trust access deployment. If you want to control everything inside your network, you need to make sure you have that visibility. You need to make sure that even if two computers or two endpoints are in the same VLAN, you need to specifically authorize them to talk to each other. They don't just talk to each other without the firewall knowing or without the firewall accounting for that traffic. So what we're going to do today, for example, and I said that we have we can call it PC1 and PC2. By default, at the layer 2, these are connected. They can talk to each other because they are part of the same VLAN. So on PC number 1, we can ping PC number 2 without any restrictions. But what is recommended for ZTA or zero trust access even for macro segmentation in general, is to have visibility in your network. We want the traffic going from PC1 to go all the way to the firewall, to be authorized or denied by the firewall before either being blocked or coming down to the PC number 2. So we want to put the firewall in the middle of this traffic and have a specific rule in the firewall to allow communication intra-VLAN. And that's the whole purpose of what we're doing today. And it's something that you should be implementing in production, because you don't want an attacker to be part of the network. And as soon as they are part of the network, they can also communicate with everybody inside the network. That's not how it's done. With ZTA or zero trust access, we never trust, we always verify. So if an attacker or hacker needs to connect to another device, there should be a rule allowing him to talk to that other device. And if he talks to the other device, you should be able to see it in your FortiGate. You should be able to see what's going on. And if you have any other tool like NAC or any other security feature enabled, you can detect some fishy traffic if you can see it. But if you can't, it's a problem. So today we will have access to the FortiGate. I'm going to show you how it works by default, and then we're going to block that traffic. There is a link I am going to share with you. I mean, if you just look up block intra-VLAN traffic, you're going to find the link with all the commands that we're going to use today. And it should be straightforward. All right, so my FortiGate is there. It's still factory with default configurations. I can go in and make sure it's ready to be used. So by default, we do admin without password. I'll do password for password for now. And I also showed you here that I have a management device. This is the device that is directly connected to port number 1. And we know that by default, 192.168.1.199 is the default IP of the FortiGate. We're going to access that and also make sure you are in the same VLAN, of course. So this is not about initial config on the FortiGate, but I just like to go with you from scratch. And that's what we're doing here. Let's close this. And let me refresh this. Now we have access to the FortiGate, and I can connect to the GUI with admin password, and I'm able to log in. At the same time, these two here are the two PCs, or the test PCs I told you about. So this is the PC number 1, and this is the PC number 2. Let me just refresh this page. Right now, I disabled IPv4 connectivity. They don't have any IP. They can't ping anything. That's good. We're going to take care of that later. So I have these two command line interfaces here. Let me actually disable this one, and I will take care of it later. All right, so in the FortiGate, let's begin our configuration. This is for the migration. And right now, like I said, the switch is not connected. It's not connected yet. Once we have the FortiGate in place, then we're going to connect the switch, and it's going to be part of the fabric. Let's just give it a moment here. Don't forget to like the video and say hi in the chat. All right, let's go back. Yeah, these things usually takes forever. All right, so do not show this again. And we can now just do later. I don't want to have automatic upgrades or updates, comprehensive. All right, now we should be able to have access to our FortiGate. As you can see that we have a public IP over here. This is connected to my DOCSIS connection. I have, I have a WAN cable connected to the port to WAN 1 on the switch, the FortiGate. And what do we need here? I can connect the switch now, because if we go under Wi-Fi and switch controller, we don't have any switch connected right now. But let me go ahead and, okay, I'm sorry, I was showing you another page. So we don't have any switch connected right now. I'm going to connect the switch, just grabbing a cable, go on the port A on the FortiGate, and connect it to the port 24 on the switch. And if we look at our screen, we should have the switch showing here. Yep, it's up. We should just give it a few seconds for it to be detected by the gate or the FortiGate. And one other thing we're going to do later on is to create a VLAN for the computers. As you can see, we have these bubbles here, which means that we have some information. So I can go under here and manage FortiSwitch. We have this switch here. I can authorize it. I usually change the name here and authorize, or I can do the authorization and then change them later. So now it's authorized, but the name is not changed. I can just hit OK. We can change the name later. There's no problem with that. I'm going to show you how to do that from the CLI. So the switch is here. We just give it a moment to be fully onboarded. And what we can do in the meantime is create our VLAN. I'm going to go under FortiSwitch VLANs. These are the default VLAN that are coming with the switch. I'm going to create a new VLAN. And I'm going to call it VLAN 10. And the ID will be 10 on it. The IP address will be 172.16.0.1 /24. All right, and we're going to create a firewall object for this. And we can allow pings and HTTP. We need the DHCP server for our devices. And look here, this is where you can enable or disable intra-VLAN traffic. Right now, we're going to leave it disabled, and we can just go ahead and hit OK. So we have that VLAN created. We are going to assign it to some of our ports. And by the way, I mentioned that I have this topology connected to my VMs, and there are a few things that I did for it to be able to work. If you want me to go in detail on that, I can do a video showing you all the details. But one thing I want to mention is that right now, because I'm supposed to connect to some of these ports on the switch behind me, I call it rock switch. Let me pull it up. Okay, rock switch. I made sure that port number 13 and 14, the LLDP profile is changed to default. By default, you have default auto SSL. That will create it's going to create, what is it called? FortiLink right away. Like they're going to see each other and enable FortiLink between them, which is a trunk. But in our case, we don't want it to be recognized. We don't want them to know each other. I just want my switch to treat the link as a normal access link. So that's why you need to make sure this one is set to default. Also, in our switch, when it comes up, we need to disable spanning tree protocol so that it doesn't block any of the ports. That's something I want to mention, but I can make a whole video showing you what I did there. So let's go back under our switch. We can see that the switch is online and everything looks good. I would like to rename it. Let's go back in the FortiGate. I can do it from here, or I usually like to have like an IP session to the gates. All right, that's IP. And I'm inside right now. Let me increase the size a little bit. First of all, I don't like this FortiGate 71F. I want to give it a name. So I can do config system global. And then here I can do set host name. I can call it lab FortiGate. That's good. And if I want to rename the switch, I can do config switch controller, manage switch. And then inside, if I do show, you can see the switch that I'm managing right now. This is its name, but there is a command to rename it. I can do rename, give the current name of the switch to lab switch. This is the new name. Once I do that, it's telling me that my switch will go offline momentarily, and I can accept that. And that will make sure our switch will be renamed. Let's go back to the GUI. But in the meantime, let me do what I told you about the port. So let's go back under FortiSwitch. I know that I'm going to use, according to our design, I'm going to use the port number 1 and number 3 for my two devices. So let me make sure port number 1 and port number 3 are part of the VLAN 10. So we're going to assign these VLANs on the port number 1 and port number 3. And also, as I said, we need to disable spanning tree. So I'm going to go under spanning tree and disable it. If you don't have it disabled, one of the links can be connected, because we literally have two links going from one switch to another switch. So this should be okay. It's good for our computers to come online. And if I go back to the switch again, as you can see, it's up, it's running with its new name. Oh, I said LAN switch. Okay, that's fine. I meant to say lab switch, but it ended up being LAN switch. That's okay. All right, so now I think we are ready to connect our devices. The two test devices that we have here will now be connected. If I do ipconfig from here, my camera is actually blocking me. If I do ipconfig from this screen, wait, it doesn't even show anything. Yeah, there's no IP configuration because I disabled it, because I want to have new config from the, oh, this one was not disabled. Let me go ahead and disable it actually. So I'm going to go under network Ethernet. I like to do the old change adapter options. I like this one better. So we go under properties and just disable IPv4. That is good. All right. And if I do that and I do ipconfig again, there's nothing there. That's good. So now let me connect my VMs to the switch. So I have my two cables here. The first one is the test PC number 1. I connect the port 13 to the port 1 on the switch. The second one is the PC test number 2. I connect the port 14. Oops. I connect the port 14 to the port number 3 on the switch, as our design said. So we're blindly following the design that I created. All right. Okay, so we did that. What that means is that if I bring up IP or Ethernet, what is it called? IPv4 here, it should be able to go and grab an IP in that same range there, because the DHCP is enabled. So let me go ahead and go under properties and enable IPv4 right there. I enabled IPv4. Let's see if I do ipconfig here. Yep, we have a config. I mean, we have .4, and if I do the same on the PC test number 2, we should have an IP as well. All right. Let's see ipconfig. We have an IP. The good thing is, if we go on our FortiGate, we can go under dashboard and DHCP monitor. We have PC1 and PC2 connected here, so we are good. And by default, like I told you, the PC1 is able to, first of all, ping. Why is it so slow? We should be able to ping our default gateway. Oops, sorry. That one, we should be able to ping our default gateway. We should also be able to ping the PC.5. So we are on .4, we ping .5. Let me do -T here, so it's constant, or it stays there. So here we are also able to ping 72.16.0.4. Okay, that's good. So this is the default behavior. By default, since they are in the same VLAN, you don't need to do anything else. They can just talk to each other. And one more thing, we can go in the FortiGate just to show you that nothing is happening here. Inside the FortiGate, we can do diagnose sniffer packet. I can filter for the VLAN 10 and filter for ICMP 40 local OL. There is no traffic going to the firewalls. Everything is happening at the switch. Nothing is going all the way to the firewall. So now we want to prevent that from happening. We want to block the traffic intra-VLAN. We want them to talk to the FortiGate first and see if we allow or deny that traffic. And again, I told you I have a link. It's you can find it online, but I'm going to put it in the chat. I'm gonna copy the link, make sure you have it in the chat. But if you do a quick Google search, you should be able to find it. That's the link that will allow you to do the thing in on Facebook. Somebody's asking if they can get the link in French. The link is actually okay. I can give you the link in French. It's on YouTube. 1 second. If you go on KBTrainings on YouTube, you should be able to find it on KBTrainings en français, the French version. Anyway, I can do that later. All right. Jean-Claude, le lien se trouve sur KBTrainings en français sur YouTube. All right. So if I open that link, let's see what we have there. The link that I gave you, it's here. How to block traffic Intra-VLAN. So first of all, we need to run this command to disable the redirect, traffic redirect. So allow traffic redirect need to be disabled. This is what we need to do first in the FortiGate. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Let me see, what are you saying? Okay, I'm talking about this command here. We are going to apply this in to our FortiGate. So because I'm running some packet capture here, let me clone this session. Where is it? Clone session. Okay. So here I can do config system global. I'm in a global system configuration right now. If I do show, you can only see what I configured manually, but I can show everything with show full config. This will show you all this, the global configuration that you can do. We have a ton of them here. But if I want to see exactly what I'm looking for, the allow traffic, I can just do a grep here, like we do in the Linux environment with pipe. Grape. Oh, sorry, it's E. I need some grape maybe. All right, so if we do this, this is the command that we want to change. The allow traffic redirect, it's currently enabled. We want to disable it. So I'm going to do set allow traffic redirect disable. We start there and then we can end this. The next thing we have to do is now we need to go under our VLAN and block intra-VLAN traffic. We can do it in the CLI using this command here. If you go under the NFS VLAN name, you can do set switch controller VLAN, switch controller access VLAN enable or disable. By default is enable, I think. Let's go ahead and check it out. So let's go on config system interface, edit VLAN 10, show full, like I said. I can do grep access. All right, see, by default, it's disabled, which means we don't block. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm showing you the. Okay, so here I'm in the interface VLAN 10. By default, this is disabled. We need to enable it. Just like we can also do it in the GUI. If we go in the graphic user interface, oh, it's logging me out. I usually like to change this to something like, let's go ahead and under system settings, I can change the idle timeout to 480, and that's good. So if we go under network interfaces and we open the VLAN 10, we can go down here and block traffic intra-VLAN. See here, these two devices that are connecting, they don't have any problem, right? So if I go here and I enable this function and hit OK, we are going to notice that these computers are going to lose connectivity between them. So we are going to block their traffic. And if we go under our packet capture, we still do not capture any packet here because we haven't enabled another option, which is proxy ARP, which is going to enable our FortiGate to play the proxy role for any ARP request. So when either of the any of the computers inside our network launches an ARP for a certain computer in that same network, our FortiGate is going to respond. It's going to be like a man in the middle between those two devices. Right now, we don't see anything because we are not responding to ARP yet. And if we go back to these computers, you can see that now it's timing out. They can't ping each other. it's definitely timing out, and that's a good thing. That's what we want. Now we want to be able to be in the middle of that traffic. I need to go in my FortiGate again in this different window. I need to go under config system proxy ARP, enter. I'm going to create a new entry, edit 1, set interface VLAN 10, set IP. We're now going to give it the range of IP that we are going to respond to as an ARP, in terms of ARP request. So the first IP will be 192.168.1.0.1. It's our IP, it's okay. And I'm going to do set end IP 172.16.0.254 to the first and the last, from the first to the last IP of this subnet. Our interface should be able to respond. And then I'm going to do end here. What changes is that, look at this. Now we are receiving these pings from the two computers. They're coming to us. So now the pings, instead of going directly to the neighbor, they're coming to us. Let me pull up my design here. So what we did now with the proxy ARP is that every time this computer wants to know the MAC address of this neighbor or any other computer, it sends the ARP, and our FortiGate is responding to the ARP, which does, the effect of that is that every ping that was supposed to go here is now going up to the FortiGate, and that's what we want. We want to see that traffic coming to us. And what we're going to do now, since we see the traffic, we now need to allow that traffic. I'm going to create a firewall policy or firewall rule to allow that traffic to go across. So let's go in our FortiGate, and you can go under policy and objects, firewall policy. As you can see, I only have this first one here that goes out to the internet from internal. And I also have this second one here, the default deny. And we can see that all the traffic that is coming is being denied. Let's see. Why don't I have policy? But anyway, let's just go ahead and do what we were supposed to do there. That's why sometimes I like log is disabled. I like to always create some kind of deny all policy there, but anyway, we're not there for that. So let's create our policy that is going to allow traffic between these two computers. So I'm going to call it VLAN 10 to VLAN 10. And this is going to be broad. I'm going to allow any computer in VLAN 10 to talk to any other computer in VLAN 10. But I can show you later on in my home lab, my home FortiSwitch or FortiGate, I can show you how I am very specific. Like the computers that can connect to my NAS, I know them and I specifically allow them to connect to the NAS. Not everybody does. So the incoming interface for this will be the interface VLAN 10. VLAN 10. The outgoing interface will be VLAN 10. The source will be IPs for VLAN 10. The destination will be VLAN 10 IPs. The service is going to be all. What do? We accept the traffic. We don't need NAT here. And we need to log all the sessions. I always like to log the sessions. And I have a 71F, so I have memory for it. Or I have a storage for it. And then I'll just hit OK. So if I do this, we should see pings going between our two devices here momentarily. One moment. All right. Our pings are successful. Can go to the PC number 2. Pings are successful. If we go back to the FortiGate, we go under dashboard and FortiView sessions. We have our ping sessions being listed here because we have visibility and we can see them. If we go back to our packet capture, we see all these devices talking to each other, request, reply, and it does this for a while until at some point it does not because everything is happening at the switch, but the FortiGate knows about it. If we want to block that traffic, we can clearly do. If I go back to my to my firewall policy here, I usually like to look at the bytes. As you can see right here, we are already moving traffic using this firewall policy. We have about 10 kilobyte of traffic that went across. And yeah, the good thing is we have connectivity. But again, if we change our mind and we want to block that connectivity, I can just come here, do a right click and disable the firewall policy. Now the two computers will lose connectivity. If we give it a few seconds, we're going to see that our pings are now timing out, which is very good and very safe. Yeah, that's all, guys. I showed you how you can block intra-VLAN traffic in the FortiGate. And oh, by the way, I promised you to show you my internal network. Let me open my FortiGate. And I can show you this. I don't think there's anything to hide here. Look at my rules. I have a bunch of rules. Like this one is the first one, ESXi to NAS. This is going to allow specifically traffic between my NAS and my ESXi. I have like 700 gigabytes that went through. We have IO to internet. I have a lot of rules. Like here we have admin to protect. This is my Unify Protect or my video system. I only allow computers under the admin. I call them mobile admin, if you can see this one here. So I call them mobile admin. The mobile admin is actually a set of computers that I know and that I use for administration. There are the only computers that can talk to many other things. So this is how I can see it. If I want to see all the sessions associated with this, I can do right click and show matching logs to see all the logs. And these are the different sessions that are created between my NAS and my my ESXi host or server. All right, guys, that's all. Let me see if there's any questions in the comments. I'll be glad to respond. Let's see. Dominican Republic, Reno Rosario. Thank you for following. Hi, IDK Yasan. I'm glad you are online with me. If you have any questions, leave the question in the chat. I'll be glad to respond. And you can also send me an email at contact@kbtrainings.com for anything. But yeah, that's all for today, guys. I hope you liked it. And again, if you want to follow me on social media, I am Guy on Gibisuku on Instagram and Facebook, and also KBTrainings for the tech side or the training side. And if you want to start or boost your career in the tech field, you can check out my CCNA course that's available at en.kbtrainings.com. Goes from zero to engineer, very well explained, just like I explained here. And that's going to help you pass your CCNA exam. Thank you, guys. And I appreciate you. I'll see you in the next lesson. The next video. Take care and bye.